I suspect that had he not done 100 other things, my next guest might have loved to have been a jazz musician. Well, listen to this. He's been heard, in fact, to play jazz trumpet in the manner of Armstrong. That's Vickers Armstrong and not Louis. Yeah. Shut up. Music's only one of his many talents. He's a poet, writer, humorist, comedian, actor, critic of all things bureaucratic and cruel, lover of all things joyous and absurd. It's Milligan.
The last time I felt this good was when I met Bing Crosby. Was a guy who brought me into the profession when I used to go to crooning contests when I was a kid. And it was great to meet him. It was on your show, wasn't it? No, Eamon Andrews, the Mother Superior. And I think you ought to be the first to know, Woody, that when I joined the Army in 1940, I was playing in a jazz band. And I had two records of yours. One was String of Pearls, and the other one was Early Autumn, right? What's the matter with you? What are you doing up there? And we took these two records of me into action in case we ever captured a gramophone from the Germans, you know. And it's a true story. You must know this story. And these two discs, we were attacked one night, February the 26th, 1940 sometime. And I didn't know what to do with these. I had to get them broken in the panic. We were all skedaddling. So I dug a hole in the ground and I buried them, and they are there to this day. I thought you were the first to know.
Go and dig them up, yeah. When did you first get hooked on jazz, in fact?
First record I ever heard was, my mother was a ragtime pianist, you know, that stuff. And then I heard Fats Waller on an old gramophone in Rangoon. It is a real place. What's the matter with you? Gotta stop drinking this stuff, man. And I heard this guy play. It set me off. That was it, Fats Waller, yes. Playing I'll Be Glad When You're Dead, You Rascal You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it, in fact, a musical family all round, yours? I mean, your mum was a pianist.
All round. Some were pretty square, but you know, most of them were round, yeah. Yeah, no, it was a pretty good family, yeah. And my brother used to play tenor sax, and he used to... One of the first guys I heard to actually play straight through, that lot of like Lester Young sound, you know, straight through, you know. None of that, ooh. Yeah. Remember that Rudy Weirdoff crap, you know what I mean? There used to be a sax sound, and he used to shake it with his knee, this guy, you know what I mean? Had it in for him.
He could sure tongue out.
Is he still alive?
No, I don't.
I'm just joking, Rudy. Oh, he's dead, is he? He deserves to be, the way he played.
I'll tell you one thing I meant to ask you. We were talking about earlier, and Spike must have noticed, the incredible high standards that you keep in all your herds. But in fact, what were the failures? Who were the talents that you didn't spot that you could have had? Because there have been a couple of remarkable ones.
Well, one of my better judgment evaluations was with Dizzy Gillespie. He had written 2 or 3 arrangements for me back in the 40s. And then on several occasions he subbed with us when we had somebody out in the trumpet section. And of course, Dizzy was now in the throes of inventing a lot of new music that was pretty much his and Charlie Parker's. And consequently, it didn't make a great deal of sense to me what he was playing. And then to make matters worse, he would make some very strange passages that would not be as consistent as we would hope for. And clams, you know. And consequently, I suggested very strongly to Diz that he continue to write for me and for whomever he wanted to, but to get rid of the trumpet because they'd never make it.
Tell me, who did the arrangement of Apple Honey for you, Woody?
It was pretty much a head thing. You know, we just kind of made it up as we went along. It was I got rhythm without the tag.
Because your music started...
Go. Joe Venuti. You know Ruby Breath? He's telling me he's playing with Joe Venuti one night, and one of these swank dudes, you know, and this American hostess came over and all smothered in peroxide and pearls, you know, and said, can't you do something exciting? He said, sure. And they moved the piano and threw it out the bloody window. Threw it out the window. Venuti's car was underneath. Is that hell?
That's lovely, yeah.
You did, Daddy.
Well, but your music started playing with bands in the army, didn't it?
Not really. I used to play before the army, you know.
Did you?
Yeah, there was peace before the last war. You wouldn't know what and some people think it went on forever and just never, you know. Yeah, I used to play in mainstream, you know. I used to play, Bunny Berrigan was one of my idols, trying to play like him, you know. I was only a second trumpet. We had a first trumpeter who used to get stoned out of his mind on pot, he was. And he didn't know what day it was. We found him in the middle, we were playing this number, you know, the Song of India number, and it came to him to take the chorus, and we looked at him, he'd got all his clothes off, and started to sing God Save the Queen in this microphone. It was a terrible piece of me. We had to pull the curtains, we got the sack that night. He used to say things like, "You start, I'll catch you up, man." He really was spaced out, you know. Well, what do you say? We used to smoke it all the time. They never thought anything about it.
Really?
You know? Nothing at all. Yeah, it was great. Great days.
Yeah. And did you smoke it in the army as well?
No, we never got that. No.
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 What kind of gigs did you play in the army?
They were called Fear. Well, you know, we didn't want to fight or do any guards, you know. So I got these guys together. So we got to form a band. If we want to live, we got to try and get a. So we just learned to play pretty quick, man. You know, we used to play. It was great. We used to keep the morale of the lads up. Great jazz we used to play, like this. Yeah.
But what kind of places? I mean, so village halls and this sort of thing?
Oh yeah, gigs around the town, you know, big town halls, regimental places and all that. You know,
yeah.
It's great days.
You once said in
I remember we had a terrific gig once. We were playing for some Canadian officers and English officers, and a fight broke out in the middle, you know. How could a waltz lead to a fight? You know, unbelievable. It was called the peacetime waltz, and we were playing this, and suddenly we heard this, "Ow, you look here, you bum out. Look here, damn you. Look. And it spread like leprosy, you know. And we kept on playing, you know, because we don't get involved in it, you know. We would keep playing. So I remember this Canadian thought he'd do something, this officer thought he'd stop the fight. And what's the Canadian national anthem? The Maple Leaf Forever, isn't it, you know? So my pianist is a very lugubrious guy, big 16 stone, like this. He's playing away like this. And this officer rushed up and says, he said, "Look here, look, we've got to stop this." He said, "Can you play the Maple Leaf Forever?" He said, "No." He said, "After 10 minutes, I get tired." You know?